welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over the top 10 new authors that I'm looking forward to reading in 2021. Half of these are debut authors who have brand new books coming out in 2021 that I'm really looking forward to reading. The other half of them are authors that I keep meaning to read, or they had a really interesting book come out like last year that I wanted to read. So, and these are in no particular order. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and start going through them. The first author, I actually just finished this book last night, but I was really excited to read it, and it ended up being super, super good. And the first author is Namina Forna, who writes the Gilded Ones. And this originally was supposed to release in May of 2020, but ended up getting pushed back to February of 2021. And it was really, really good. It's a young adult fantasy about some young girls who are born with golden blood. Their blood transforms into gold, and it means that they are part demon. So that's the initial premise of the story. Very well done, very easy to read. So it's from one point of view the whole time, and there's a lot of action and adventure and a lot of mystery. I thought it was really well put together, and after I had just finished reading a couple pretty long epic fantasies, it was really nice to read kind of more of an action adventure fantasy with excellent characters, a really neat plot, and it was just easy to read. Super quick read for me. I really enjoyed it, and I definitely am going to be looking forward to more books by Forna coming up. So I know it's kind of like a mini book review, but she was one author I was looking forward to read, and it was worth it. All right, the second author, debut author that I'm really looking forward to reading in 2021 is Rose Zabo, and her debut novel is What Big Teeth. I just started reading this last night, and it's about a girl who's coming home from boarding school to live with her family, and her family is quite literally a family of monsters. So that's really all I know about it. As I said, I just started it last night. So far, it's been fine. So I'm, excited to see how Rose Apple does, and if I like her writing style. All right, the next author that I'm looking forward to reading that's a debut author is Jessica Rubinkowski, who writes The Bright and the Pale. I don't know a lot about this. I know it is another young adult fantasy. It's about some girl's family who gets trapped in ice, and she joins a tribe of thieves to help rescue them. So I always enjoy books about thieves, and it sounds like an interesting environment. But so Jessica Rubinkowski is another author that I will probably be reading this within the next month or so, and looking forward to it, and looking forward to reading a book about her. All right. The fourth debut author that I'm looking forward to reading in 2021 is Jessica S. Olsen, and this is her debut novel, Sing Me Forgotten. Beautiful cover, by the way, but it was really the premise of this that caught my attention. And the premise of this is about a girl, or a group of girls, who is locked away because their singing is magical and can influence people. Really, that's all I know about it, but it sounded like a really cool premise, and I'm really looking forward to reading Olsen's first debut novel just to see, how it is. All right, and the last debut author that I'm really looking forward to reading in 2021, I'm holding this upside down, is Gabriella Houston, who is writing The Second Bell. Again, this comes out, I think, in March. February or March. It might be February, end of February. This one had a very, I can't remember exactly what it was about, but it's supposed to be more of an old-time fairy tale-esque vibe, dark fairy tale-esque vibe to it. And it is published by Angry Robot Publisher, which I've always really enjoyed. A lot of the authors that they publish, they tend to be a little bit off the mainstream, a little bit different. So really looking forward to reading Gabriella Houston's debut novel, and hopefully it'll be an author that I really love. All right, now I'm going to go into some authors that are they're pretty well known, I just never got a chance to read them last year, and I really want to read them this year. So this is author number 6 on my top 10 new authors of 2021, and the first author that is an established author that I'd really like to read, and that's Evan Winter. He is writing the Rage of Dragon series, which is an epic fantasy series. I've heard it described more as like military fantasy as well. I've heard a lot of great stuff about his books, and I would really like to read it, at least start that series this year and see if, I agree with all the hype around what a great fantasy author Evan Winter is. All right, the 7th one on the list is a little bit out of my comfort zone, but I've had a book from her on my wish list for many years, and then a couple of the YouTube channels I follow have talked about her even more, and that's Daphne du Maurier, and she writes a lot of like historical mysteries and stuff. And I just heard about her for a long time. And again, I've had a couple of her books on my list for a very long time. And I would just like to pick her up and read some books by her this year. So hopefully I'll get a chance to do that. The 8th author I really want to read in 2021 is Roseanne A. Brown, who writes A Song of Wraiths and I always want to say Wrath and Rune, but it's Wraiths and Rune. And this book was super, super popular into 2020. I never got around to it. I really would like to pick it up and read it. I did not. I was thinking about reading it next, but decided to read What Big Teeth instead, just because I had been reading a lot of like epic young adultish fantasy, and I needed a little bit of a break from that genre. So I am reading What Big Teeth, but I will probably be reading A Song of Wraiths and Rune after that. All right, but really looking forward to reading Roseanne A. Brown and just seeing. I love finding new, excellent fantasy authors. All right, the 9th one on my list is another fantasy author that I really wanted to get around to reading last year. It did not. And that is Tamsen Mira, who writes the Gideon the Ninth series. Again, this sounds like a super fun fantasy series, and I just never got around to reading it. So hopefully I'll be able to read some of Mira's books this year, and it should be a lot of fun. All right, the last author that I have on this list is a little bit different, not really a super popular author right now. But that being said, I have been a big fan of the cyberpunk genre for a long time. And of course, with Cyberpunk 2077 coming out, I really wanted to go back and read some authors. So I read like Neil Stephenson and William Gibson and Charles Stross, a whole bunch of that stuff. But I haven't read that genre for a while. So I was looking for some authors that I thought would still appeal to me now that write in the cyberpunk genre. So one author I kind of focused on, it just sounded like I'd really be able to relate to her characters and story, and it would be in a really cool cyberpunk world, is Melissa Scott. So she writes a number of cyberpunk standalone novels. This one is called Night Sky Mine, and I just think it'll be fun. I love cyberpunk. I don't know why I don't read more in the genre. I think maybe it's because there's just not a ton of books. It's like steampunk. Apparently I like punk. So it's like steampunk. There's just like not a lot in the genre, and maybe not a lot that's super good that I haven't read already. So very excited to read this book by Melissa Scott, and hopefully, I don't think this is her most famous one. I'm trying to think. I think there's one, or if they haven't listed in here. There's one of hers that is a little bit more, I don't see it. Trouble in Her Friends. Trouble in Her Friends, I think, is her most popular book. But she's written a number. So she wrote Burning Bright, Dreaming Metal, Dream Ships, Night Sky Mine, this one, Shadow Man, and Trouble in Her Friends. And I think Trouble in Her Friends is probably her most popular steam or cyberpunk novel. But I found this one for cheap on Amazon, and I decided to go ahead and buy it because I really would like to do that. I've got a number of steampunk authors cyberpunk authors I want to try and read this year. But this is the one I'm most excited about. All right, so those are my top 10 new authors that I'm looking forward to reading books from in 2021. I do have another video I'm going to do about my top 20 books I want to read in 2021, and that will be posting the week after this one posts. I was not able to keep that to 10. I really tried, but I read a lot of books. I usually read between 250 and 300 books a year, and trying to keep what I want to read down to a top 10 list was practically impossible. So that will be a top 20 list. Please comment below if you have any authors that you're really excited about reading this year, be they debut authors or older established authors, not even older, just established authors. Comment down below. That would be great. I'm always looking for new great authors to read books from. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you haven't, please subscribe. I'm going to be trying to do more videos like this, and I will talk to you guys on Saturday for a Stacking the Shelves. All right, bye.